So tokens are a little bit finicky. They are set in a point in time when you first create the character, and any modifications you make to a token do not reapply to the character sheet. So you have to manage that. And I'll show you an example. So I'm going to quickly create a new character, and we'll just take that and we'll make it as an NPC, and his name is Futh, apparently, and he's an armor class of 12, and we're going to give him 12 hit points. Sure, whatever, it's all good. Okay, so that is our character Futh. Right, so now I'm going to drag Futh out onto the board, and you can see this is a default token. Now I'm going to edit it and make a quick change to Futh. And I'm going to say that Futh is going to show us in bar 1 his or her health points, and I'm going to save it. Okay, so now we can see that Futh's health points are showing up on the token, but this token has not been saved to the character sheet, so you'll see if I redrag the token over, those changes have not carried over. And so if you drag a token onto any new map, the changes you made won't follow. It's an easy fix though. So what you would do is, and I'll walk through that. I'm going to grab this token here, and so this is the image that I want to use as the token. I'm going to configure this image to be how I want it exactly. And I'm going to put HP in the first bar. I'm going to put AC. I usually like to put AC in the second bar. I like to show the nameplate so I can see it. The other things I like to do is I like to show if it's a player character, I like to show the players the name and bar 1. What that'll do is it'll show players a relative indicator of the player's health, but it won't show the number, which is great. So they just have an idea. They'll just know, like, so-and-so's at half health, which I figure you can RP that, right? I mean, I think the fellow adventurers of a companion would know when their companion is looking rough and when they're not. They've seen them quite a bit. So, of course, you give the player sight here. This is critical, or else when you drop them on a dynamically lit map, they can't see anything. I like to do this, but your mileage may vary. I like to give them a visibility angle of 270 degrees, and it forces them to, not be able to see behind them, which I think is cool. So in a case of a human character, I would be done at this point. But if it's somebody who has dark vision, I give them 30 feet of light emittance, and I set the multiplier to 2, which gives them effectively like 60 feet of vision, but it starts to trail off after 30. And I feel like that's really like a good way to handle dark vision. So yeah, I've got my settings set here. I've got the light. In this case, we'll say it's an elf. I've said show nameplate. I have the bars how I want them, and I'm going to save my changes here, and I can now see the effect it's had. I can control L on the token to get a sense for what it sees, right? But you'll still see that if I drag fur over here, nothing is going to have applied because we haven't done anything yet. So I'm going to delete fur here, and I'm going to delete Futh here, and I'm going to now tie them together. So I'm going to edit the character sheet, select this token. If you already had a token in here, you'd say remove. I don't have one now, so I'm going to just say use selected. So that's what you'll do. So first you would remove if they already had an existing token, and you'll say yep, delete it, and then you'll say use selected on the token that you've mastered. That's just the way you want it. Right, and then I'll usually also, of course, drag the artwork over to their avatar, and then I will save. Okay, and so now the character sheet is using the token as configured. If I need to drag the character sheet onto a new map, all those settings get preserved. If the character, let's say, takes an injury, you can see it updated on both tokens. The health follows, which is fantastic, and all the settings follow. So the light settings, everything follows.